Hey, Justin here with Stay at Home Dad's podcast. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the place I talk about many things that go on in my stay-at-home dad life. Things with my kids, my family, being a better father and a better husband, men's mental and physical wellness, parenting struggles I have a few of those. I also talk about successes as well. I also talk about parenting life tips and kid tips that I come across and I research online. Also random things that I just think about, things that I find interesting or spark some sort of thought in my head. I come on here and I talk about with you. So I hope something in there comes across as interesting or helpful in some way. But anyways, thank you for tuning in today. All right, so today is another Dad Classic episode. I know I just popped out of one of those, and that was, a couple of weeks ago. But life got me this week. My kids got busy doing stuff. My wife was busy at work, so I was running the kids around a little bit, going to hip-hop dance class and doing some other stuff with the kids. So I got caught up, and I didn't plan my week accordingly, and I failed at getting a new episode out this week. So I'm sorry for that, but next week I do have one. The one I was going to do this week, I'll get it done and I'll post it for next week's show, so that'll be a new one. And I know I keep talking about guests and I keep talking about getting people in here and yada, yada, yada. You're probably sick of hearing it, but it's a hard thing to kind of do. You put the feelers out and you get good feedback, and then people are just busy and people have lives, and it's hard to really nail people down to allocate an hour of their time sometimes and either come to my house or meet me on a Zoom call or something like that. You know, I mean, people are living and they're doing their jobs and they're doing everything else. So I'm still working on that. I'm still trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, if you could do something for me, and that's either let me know on podbean.com, /Stay at Home Dads podcast. It's linked in the description, or go over to Instagram at @stayathomedads_podcast and just let me know what you would like me to talk about. And I know that sounds like maybe a big ask, but who would you like me to talk to? What would you like me to talk about? Would you like me to get other dads in here? Would you like me to get professionals in here? Would you like me to get celebrities in here? I don't really have that kind of pull at all, but hey, I could try. Or do you just, do you want me to just have regular conversations with my buddies and my friends? So I could do that as well. But just, hit me up in one of those spots. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would like to hear. I feel like I'm having a little mental block. So do you want to hear more about parenting stuff, dad stuff, guy stuff, life, things like that? So just give me a few ideas. That's all I'm looking for. I know it's a big ask, like I said, but if you have a minute, just shoot me a message on one of those platforms and say, hey, I would like to hear about this. And then I will definitely work on that and try to make it happen, and that would give me a direction as to where to go. So anyways, yes, if you could do that, that'd be awesome. I would really appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm going to throw up a Dad Classic episode, and I'm not sure what one. Maybe I'll put one up with a guest. Give you something good to listen to. Hopefully there's some new listeners out there that haven't heard it, if you haven't gone way back. Let me be honest too, 2 weeks ago when I posted my last classic episode, and I was going to pick one that I did a long time ago, and I tried to proof it before I posted it, and it was bad. And it makes me laugh. It wasn't really good. And I shouldn't be embarrassed by that, because that's progress. I feel like I'm not great at this, but I'm getting better. I'm a little bit better with my words. I'm not saying but all the time, right? I listened to that old episode, and I was saying like. Every third word was like, and it was rough. I had to shut it down, and I said to myself, nope, I'm not going to repost this and put you through that pain and torture. So I'm going to find something to post for you. I'll put it up, and I hope you enjoy it. So anyways, that's all for me. I've rambled enough here. But if you could, please hit me up. Let me know what you would like to hear and what type of guests you would like me to have. Maybe I'll put a poll up on Instagram as well, where you can choose out of those categories I mentioned, and you can just go on there and click one of those. So I will do that as well. Anyways, thank you for listening again. Thank you for sticking out with me. Thank you for dealing with my crappy Dad Classic episodes. I do appreciate it. Anyways, without further ado, here's the Dad Classic episode, and I will talk to you all next week. All right, trashy parent time. Woohoo! Let's get this train choo-choo rolling here. I came across this Buzzfeed article, and it was titled, "People are revealing what they think screams trashy parent, and I need to know if you find them sensible or overdramatic." Now, pages like this seem to, I don't know, they scour the online forums like Reddit. That's where a lot of these answers came from, to get answers to questions and opinions from people. That seems like an honest way to get the feel for what's going on, especially with certain topics. Much better than some responses from your typical poll at some big news outlet, I think anyways. So these are responses from a Reddit thread to see what people have to say about the title here. So there's 25 or so of these. I'll just go through them until we kind of get tired of it, and then we'll come to some sort of conclusion. All right, number 1, mothers who see sons' girlfriends as competition. Now, depending on how you look at this, I don't think this is necessarily a trashy parent point here. I think moms really just want what's best for their sons, and they tend to judge at times very harshly the girls that they date or bring home or even marry. You know, you hear some of these mothers and they're like, "Oh, no one's going to be good enough for my little boy, and I'm not going to let my kid date whoever or whatever." But just wait, I guess, until we're older, all of us. And if you have boys, I bet some of you will feel that same exact way. I mean, when my girls get older and start dating, I know it's going to be a rough time for me. Oh my God, it's going to suck. Douchey guys ringing my doorbell. "Hey bro, I'm here to pick up your daughter, no cap. Shit's bussin' for real. Gonna be so turnt." You know how these kids talk these days? Oh my God, I'm not looking forward to dealing with that. And why do they talk that way? Why do they say no cap and bussin'? I don't know what that means. I know I'm old, I'm 40, but I don't understand that at all. All right, next one here. The user says they used to work at a Walmart, and parents would actually leave their kids in the toy aisle while they went and shopped, and would even leave the store to go to, say, a restaurant across the street or something, all while letting their kids just run amok in the toys, playing with stuff, wrecking shelves, just being crazy. This is 100% trashy parent worthy, like to a T. Just get a fucking sitter. Just be an adult, a responsible adult. Get a sitter for your kid if you want to go out and get dinner with your spouse or whatever it is. Drop kids off at grandma's, or you bring your kids with you and you go out to eat or you do your shopping, and that's it. It's pretty simple. These are the parents that will also sit there and think their kids are doing no wrong, or when they wreck the store shelves or cause an issue, they'll just think it's funny, or B, downplay it and act like it's no big deal or it's somebody else's fault or someone else's problem. These are the parents that would run up to you and angrily tell you that you totally ruined my kid's evening by reprimanding them or telling a kid to knock that shit off. And all the while, the kid sits back listening to all this, knowing that their parents are going to go to bat for them no matter what, and they're going to continue to do bad shit. All right, number 3, cussing out officials at a Little League game, or even telling your child to punch another player. That sounds oddly specific for the poster that posted this comment, but it 100% happens, and it's 100% trash, I'll tell you that. Parents are crazy at sporting events like this, like with their little kids in their games and cheering them on and getting pissed off when things happen to their kids that they don't believe should happen. It really brings out the worst in some of these parents. We see all the viral videos out there of the dad punching the coach or tackling a player or getting totally crazy or whatnot. Actually, a friend of mine told me a story that happened at a football game, a kid's football game with her kids, and it was a crazy mom that she was going nuts, screaming, insulting people, insinuating that the refs were cheaters and that the other team was cheating. And I'm not sure if her kid was not in the game or there was a call against her kid or what happened there, but yeah, she was cussing at people, cussing at the coaches, cussing at everybody. My friend was telling me it was crazy. And that kid's dad is a pro footballer as well. Not that that makes the situation any different. It actually makes the situation worse, in my opinion. You would think that that mom would be in there acting with way more respect and way more tact than anybody else. But no, that is not the case. And then I guess her son would fall and get hurt in the game, and she would scream at her own son and telling him to get his ass up and just pushing him and riding him and tell him to walk it off and not to be a little baby or whatever. It was crazy, I guess. And I kind of get that. It's football. You want to promote being tough, and you want to tell your kid to be tough and to keep going when it gets hard and all that stuff. But I do think there's a limit to that. And then also, after all this chaos of the game, she kept screaming, and then she had a cowbell, and she was banging this cowbell on the bleachers as hard as she could, just to be as obnoxious as she could, just to make as much noise and to be as rude as possible. It was definitely trashy behavior. So like I said, I get it. You want to be enthusiastic, you want to cheer on your kid and tell your kid to be tough and work hard and get through it. But we can't act like this woman did, especially in front of our kids, in front of other people's kids, other parents. What type of behavior are you portraying to the kids? You know what I mean? That when you don't get your way, or if you lose a game, that you can create a big fuss and a fit and blame other people and it's not your own fault, or the only reason you lost is because someone cheated. That's what you automatically want to show to your kids. Don't do that. Just let's not be like whoever this woman is. Use the loss as a teaching moment or as some sort of motivation to work hard at that skill. That's all I'm saying. All right, number 4, when the kids literally set the world on fire and the parents will blame anyone else to avoid responsibility. This one kind of goes right along with the last one. I mean, yeah, it's annoying as hell. It really bothers me that parents just turn a blind eye and let kids do whatever the hell they want to do sometimes. Or sticking up for your kid when they do the dumbest thing or they do something that's totally wrong and you still go to bat for them and defend them on what they did. You know, blaming some other circumstance on why they did what they did. And I think doing that at a young age will show the kid that they don't have to be responsible for their actions. And I think that type of lesson in life is going to stick with them into adulthood. And then they're going to blame many things in their life on other circumstances, other people, other reasons, just excuses, and not take any responsibility for themselves. I mean, I'm no doctor or anything, but I believe that's how it would work. That's how my brain thinks anyways. Kids trashing toy aisles in Walmart, being mean to other kids. It's either, oh, kids will be kids. We've all heard that stupid ass saying. The parents that want to just deny it and brush it under the rug and not reprimand their kids or get on their kids for it. Oh, the kids will be kids. Or it's straight to denial and ignoring the behavior altogether. And you think your kids, you as a parent think your kids do no wrong. And that's not a winning combination either. All right, number 5, parents who use their kids to get likes on TikTok or social media or whatever. I guess I'm old. I don't even understand TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I'm kind of out on that, but there's a few other ones, a few other complaints on this whole list that pretty much talk about using kids to get, internet likes and to make money off of and get that internet clout and all that stuff, and using kids and not getting their consent, essentially, stuff like that, or even pranking their kids to get those clicks and those likes. Yeah, it's kind of trashy. For the sole purpose of getting those likes and potentially making money off of your kid. You want to be Insta-famous or something like that, so you post your kid all the time. Or, I post pics of my kid, and usually they're the ones that get more likes than any other picture that I post. Do I give a crap? No, I don't care. I'm not putting them on there to get likes. I put them on there because it's people that I know, and they want to see my kid. But yeah, people will complain and say that the kids are young and they don't understand having their face plastered all over social media. and they aren't giving their consent or some shit. I don't know. I mean, it's not that big a deal. I really don't think. I guess kind of trashy when the sole thing is to make money off your kid, but some of these parents could be doing worse things with their kids, right? And as far as pranking your kids for internet clout, yeah, I think that's kind of shitty. Making fun of them, pranking or humiliating your own family, your own kids for views is something that kid will remember. So, what are you trying to show your kids? How are you trying to raise them? The things that you do when they're young and when they're growing up are going to have an effect on them. So you have to be prepared for that, I guess. All right, trashy parent point number 6, sending your kid to school or to childcare or even getting a babysitter when they're clearly sick or contagious. Yes, this kind of blows my mind that parents even do this. Well, it doesn't really blow my mind, but I'm still kind of surprised that parents are this selfish and they do this. You're so desperate for that night out. You're so desperate to get that kid off to school and get them out the door that you don't care if they're showing symptoms of being sick or not. That's just really, really selfish. Probably more selfish than trashy, but I don't get it. It's like you tell yourself, well, if I don't check for a fever on my potentially sick kid, then do they have a fever? I'm just going to deny it, right? I'll just use my denial. Even if they feel warm and everything else, it's just easier to do that and deny it than it is to keep them home. And that was even with COVID as well. And you have your opinions on COVID. Everyone has their own opinions on COVID and its transmission and everything else. But people telling me, oh yeah, my kid's got a cough and they don't feel that well, but I don't want to keep them home and test them and quarantine them for the 5 days or the 10 days or whatever it was. So they don't test them and they turn that blind eye, scuttle their kid off to school, and that's the end of it. Which, yeah, in hindsight, it's all over. It wasn't that crazy or big of a deal for us personally or for our school for that matter. I know for some people it was, so I'm not trying to take away from that, but I don't know. That just seems kind of trashy. That seems kind of selfish. For me, it was a good idea to just err on the side of caution anytime my kids are sick, especially if they have something contagious. It's easy for me to say, you know what, yeah, let's keep you home. You got a little fever, elevated fever. Let's keep you home. Not a big problem. And I get it though too. I'm a stay-at-home parent. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I can do that. I'm not going to miss work because my kid's home. I just stay home with my kid and I go about my day and I go about my business and nothing really changes. I just have a kid here at home. There's some other people out there that desperately need that kid to go to school so they can make it to work, so they can make their money, and they have really no other options and no other choices. And for those people, I feel for you. It kind of sucks. I don't really know of any advice to give you to help you out with that. All right, TPP number 7, trashy parent point. Number 7, parents who act like providing the bare necessities to their kid is some kind of favor or debt to be repaid. Yeah, kind of shitty. Having that attitude toward your kid like they are some sort of burden and the kid owes them something for everything provided is kind of sad, really. It's honestly kind of sad. They decided to have a kid, so own up, provide for them, do the best that you can, give the kid the best life that you can, and that's it. You're not going to teach them any life lessons by providing just that bare minimum. Sure, I guess you could swing it in a way that shows, not living in excess or having a fulfilled life without a bunch of excess. Sure, maybe you could spin that, but I don't know. I mean, don't really have a lot to say on that one. Granted, these are not my talking points. These are trashy parent points from Reddit, so take it how you will. All right, TPP number 8, posting videos of your child having a meltdown when you mock them in the background. Yeah, it's not cool. I don't like it. I can't imagine a parent would really think that's a good idea. Granted, I'll confess, I have taken a video of my daughter, Olivia, behaving badly, and it was not to go post online like some kind of asshole. It was actually for the reasons to show Santa Claus. And I told her that, and it did not make the situation any better, and it was only one time, and yes, I regret it. Haven't done it since. It's not really a good idea to showing that side of me to my kids, like I'm making fun of them for how they're feeling or acting. It just doesn't really sit well with me. now that I think about it. This is actually the first time I've thought about it since I did it. So yeah, it wasn't a good idea. Also, never mock and laugh when you have your camera running and you're recording your kids and you're poking fun. That's pretty trashy. And a lot of this stuff I've talked about today, I know can have an effect on kids and their adolescence and how they grow up. So I worry about that more than I worry about anything else, really. All right, next one. This user says, parents swearing at their young kids in public. She says she witnessed this a few times, mother calling a 5-ish-year-old kid a mother effer for not listening. And if this is what happens in public, then what in the hell happens in private? We've probably all seen this or witnessed this or maybe even done this. Some of us probably have, maybe, I don't know. The parent cussing and yelling, yanking the kid's arm around because they're not doing exactly what they're told to do. I'm not saying kids don't need to be reprimanded and just be allowed to act like crazy, untamed jerks in public all the time. But there has to be a better way than going straight to that screaming and cussing at them. And that's not good. In public or at home, it's just not a good way to handle that situation. It's tacky, losing your cool and having that parent moment. And this happens. And then you look around and you think, oh shit, did anyone see me? Why did I just do that? You know? All right, a couple more here and then I'll wrap this shit up. Parents who put fizzy drinks in bottles for their kids. Come on, people. Are you serious? This is not a good habit to start with kids. The soda pops, the sodies, whatever you call them, at any age. And who in the fuck would think that this is a good idea to put soda in a toddler's bottle? Like, come on. It's trash, all right? That's trashy. Even the juices and shit in bottles is not a good idea. Letting them suck on whatever they want to get that sugary kick, it's a gateway drug, man. It's a gateway drug. Kids don't have the best dental hygiene anyways. I mean, we can all probably agree to that. So why make it worse with something that we can easily control? I just asked my daughter if I had ever given her soda, and she said no, that we never have. And I'm pretty sure that we never have. She's 8 years old, never had soda, at least to my knowledge anyways. Juice, juice is going to happen at some point. Water is best, of course, we all know this. But just, if you do one thing, if you're listening to this and you give your kids soda, just at least do that one thing. Just try to cut the soda out. The caffeine, the sugar, it's not good for kids. And you probably already know all this stuff, but maybe you hearing it from this non-doctor nobody will convince you to stop ladling it over your children. Also on verywellmind.com, I found an article on there that states that along with adverse health conditions that can come from excessive soda consumption, like tooth decay and obesity, there's also a link to mental health and behavior issues, things like aggression, withdrawn behavior, irritability, and even ADHD-related symptoms. The article also said that more research needs to be done to really connect the dots on these things. They found a correlation, but not a definitive connection. So they do say that there needs to be more research, but it's there. Also, for the record, I'm not talking about trashy as in being poor. I want to clarify that. Because sure, it would be very easy to slip into that mindset about people. Be like, oh, that kid's got dirty clothes, and oh, that kid eats ramen all the time, or the parents drive some rusty old piece of crap, or they live in a trailer or whatever. They're trashy. That's not what I mean. I mean, shit, I lived in a trailer. My parents rented places growing up. We had an old S10 pickup growing up. That was me. And were we poor and trashy? No. I feel like I had everything that I needed as a child growing up. I had everything I needed. So from my perspective, we were not poor. From my perspective, we were not trashy. So just to kind of clarify. Also, all those ones I just read to you were from the Buzzfeed article, and I'll link that in the description so you can check it out. I actually have just a couple more here that I wanted to mention that I'd kind of been thinking about before I did this show that screams trashy parent to me. First one is getting drunk in front of your kids, or even having your kids go grab you booze and beers from the fridge or something for you like that. That's trash, okay? Having a few drinks with your kids around, totally normal. Having a glass of wine with your kids around, totally fine. But drunk, stumbling, puking, being a total POS, saying offhanded things, most likely, like people do when they get drunk, and kids seeing that's awful. Don't be that parent. Don't get drunk like that in front of your kids. Or your older kid have to come pick you up because you're too drunk to get home, and your kid can drive, and your kid's picking up their drunk dad. It's super tacky, super trashy. All right, seeing toddlers out in public with no clothes on and just wearing a diaper. I don't know why this bothers me, but I kind of find it as a trait of a trashy parent. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know. Just throw a shirt and pants on the kid, please. For the love of God, it's only 2 articles of clothing. That's all I'm asking, okay? And I know we all think that our own little bundles of joy are the cutest little things and no one's going to mind, but people see it. I see it. I can't explain why it bothers me, but it does. Just these little naked babies, naked toddlers, dirty little kids, and all they have on is a diaper, and you're taking them to Costco. It's weird, okay? It's trashy. Also, can we cut your little boy's hair? I don't understand with this new fad of like letting your boy's hair just grow out and grow and grow and grow. It's just kind of like this annoying trend where parents are doing this. And it bugs me. I don't know why it does. I can't explain it, but it bothers me. I know that's just my personal opinion, and I'm not necessarily saying it looks trashy, but it just gives me this weird, unkept little dirty boy vibe, and I don't know why. Just cut it. And you're going to have to cut it eventually. Just cut it. All right, next one. Being your kid's BFF instead of their parent. Like you two are just bros hanging out, and your kid gets to decide and make decisions on whatever they want. Oh, you want Skittles and chocolate cake for dinner? Sure, whatever. Kids don't want to go to bed, so you say, yeah, go to bed whenever you want. Stay up till 11 o'clock. Just because your little old 6-year-old shit demands it, that's not cool. I don't like it. All those little things, just, I don't know, they bug me. And I don't even see them. Sometimes people just tell me things. I mean, A, you're not setting a boundary between parent and kid. You're not setting, that you're the boss and they're the subordinate, essentially. And B, you guessed it, it seems kind of trashy. You're just putting them up on this pedestal like they're the king or the queen and they can do no wrong, kind of like some of the last ones I talked about. They're always in this state of happiness or fulfillment or euphoric whatever. Does that kind of make sense? I don't like it. It goes in line with that parent that takes the path of least resistance all the time. You just don't want to deal with your kid. You don't care to deal with your kid, so you just give them whatever they want just to shut them up. It's not a good trend. All right, last one, I promise here. That's taking kids on vacation, namely taking them to the Strip in Vegas. We used to see this all the damn time, and it irritated the hell out of me, and that's parents proceeding to force their kids to stay awake for hours past their bedtime, either walking like little zombies or passed out in the stroller while they march their ass up the Strip at 11 p.m., 12 p.m., 1 in the morning. Parents out for their own selfish reasons while their kids are suffering, hot, loud Strip at midnight. All they want to do is go to bed. Chalk that up to trashy. I hate that. Every time I'm in Vegas or anywhere on vacation and it's super late and I see these people with these kids and they're passed out and they're in strollers or they're carrying them or whatever, and I'm just like, come on. That just screams trash. I don't like it. All right, that's all I have for today's episode of Stay at Home Dads Podcast. Low on parenting tips, high on entertainment. Maybe low on entertainment. Anyways, I hope you liked that little article, that little Buzzfeed Reddit thing, kind of some interesting perspectives from normal parents and people out there. But in all seriousness, just think about some of these things, as well as many of the other ones that I did not mention here. Go check the article out and just see if you partake in any of those. And if you do, I really think you should just, think about those decisions you make and see if you can make better ones. See if you can make some small changes somewhere and do better. Do better for the kids, right? Also, if you totally hated what you heard here today and you don't agree with me, then please let me know. Just hop over to podbean.com, send me a little nastygram, let me know your thoughts, or you could just send me one and let me know how amazing I am. I always appreciate those as well. Lastly, if you would, please share the show on your social media. Let your friends know they can grab this podcast wherever you download amazing podcasts. And that's it. Thank you for listening again, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye.